Hey everybody, welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation. The March numbers from the RVIA have just landed, and the RV industry is definitely slumping further into the deep end of the swimming pool. So let's talk about the numbers, and I actually had to make, like I always do when I do these updates, I have to make notes because I just wouldn't remember the numbers, but I do know that they're bad. So first let's talk about how they're calculated. And I did this last month too. They're basically comparing March of 26 to March of 25. And if you've watched my video on 5-year averaging, that's what I think they ought to be comparing it to, because they're basically looking back at a bad year, 25, and then saying any increase there is like a really good thing. Well, if you did a 5-year average, you'd actually have something a little more realistic to measure against. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So anyway, keep that in mind. 2025 wasn't a great year. And now they're, for this month, they're measuring March of 26 to 25. So let's just talk about where things really stand. As far as the towable category goes, it remains in double-digit negative territory. And the only exception really is truck campers, which are at a positive 6.4%. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Travel trailers are down 15.6%, and last month they were down 14.5%, so the slide on travel trailers continues. Fifth wheels down 13%. Last month they were down 13.1%, so basically they're holding pretty steady negative territory there. Pop-up campers were down 18.8%. Last month they were down 18.7%, so again, relatively similar. Truck campers, as I mentioned, they're up 6.4%. Last month they were at 3.6%. So I don't want you to read too much into truck campers, because really they move so few of those that it doesn't take much to really move a needle. So let's talk about how many units they sold in February. They sold 327 units, and in March 364. So these are not earth-shattering numbers that are making that positive 6.4%. So what can you say overall? They're right now consistently staying negative in a consistent fashion. So we're kind of holding in this, negative, double-digit negative. It's interesting. And I remember last year I was really shocked when I saw towables go negative, because I'd never seen that before. And now I'm almost getting used to it. So, all right. What about motorhomes? I don't like to talk about motorhomes very much, but let's briefly go into it. Class A's are still down in negative territory. They've been there for a year. This month they're down 3.6%. Last month they were down 1.8%, so that slide continues. As far as Class B's, they're sliding down from where they had a good month in February at, if you want to call it that, 17.2%. Now they're only positive 12.7%. Again, not a lot to move the needle there. Class C, last month they were positive at 24.8. This month they moved down to 21.6% positive. But again, in any of these categories in motorhomes, they do not sell a lot of them. So it's going to take more time to really see what the trend is in motorhomes. I would say, we probably need to be another good couple of months into it to see if we're really getting a bounce there in the motorhomes. I don't think you're going to see anything in the Class A's happen dramatically. I think they're going to be probably negative all year. Just that's my feeling. So what does that mean for folks that are out looking for a towable? Well, you've got leverage. You basically got leverage because shipments are down so much. Dealers are going to be trying to move their stock. And while shipments don't really equal sales, it's indicative of what's happening in the marketplace. So use that to your advantage if you want to go in and negotiate, knowing that the market is really depressed right now. I'm usually pretty good at reading where this market's going, and right now, though, as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of guesswork because the trend is clearly downward. So what's going on with fuel prices and interest rates is certainly not helping matters anyway. And I don't want to spend $5 a gallon of diesel. I don't think anybody does, but I enjoy camping more than having to worry about what the fuel is going to cost me at this point. So you know, my opinion on what's really depressing the market, because this slide started a lot before fuel prices went up, is really being more driven by all the negative PR on quality. That's just my feeling. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see a lot of it day after day after day as I go through all these different forums and I go through all these different YouTube channels. And I'm sure some of you know what the heavy hitter YouTube channels are that talk about quality on RVs. So you see that, and you know people that are probably doing research that maybe want to buy an RV, see that kind of thing, and then they're like not interested. So anyway, in the meantime, if you are interested in getting an RV, this would be the time to leverage this information and make a move. Probably get a pretty good deal. Just make sure that it's an RV that's solid, it's got a good reputation, it's quality, and then you can rest easy. So that's it. That's the wrap up for the RVIA and the shipments, and that's like kind of the quarterly report so far. So we're going to see where this whole thing goes. Not that it should really have an impact on you, other than it's a really good leverage. So until next time, happy camping.